Hey Doug. So I am catching up with a friend and she's running a bit late, so I thought I would take this time to do the first video kind of thing again. My little cat. Her name's Dot. Anyway, so what has been happening? It's been crazy. You might be able to tell I'm in a different house now. So that house that I was in before was for my mum. And I was finally, after many incorrect starts and a bunch of stress, terrible event trying to get it to happen, I actually managed to get her to move into it. My lips were cracked. So she's finally moved in there, and I moved out into this place. So I don't own this one. This one's a rental, but eventually I'll own another one and I'll actually live in that one. What else has happened? I have finished my psych. I got into masters. It's the 1 year master's, so I do still want to go back and do like my PhD or the extended master so I can call myself a doctor. But not yet. So right now I am on my internship, psych internship. I'm doing that psych internship at Child Protection. So I worked there before, I did my placement there, and now I'm still there. Hold on. So I am in a cool part of it called ResiCare. So state work services. So I work at basically the group homes, but a specific type of home. The group homes and stuff like that, we try not to operate. The reason they're there is for when the kids' behaviours, well, the purpose of them anyway, is for when the kids' behaviours are so intense because of their trauma and stuff like that, that a standard foster situation won't work. We do have sometimes family group homes where we will staff a whole family of siblings, and so it's only that family that live there. And behaviours are more intense, but that's a way we can keep all of the kids together. So that's in cases where, say, a general foster carer couldn't kind of take a whole group of them because there's so many siblings and stuff like that, with some of them with behaviours, or all of them. But yeah, when it gets to the point of the kids that I work with, they're supposed to be the ones with the more intense behaviours that can't be in those settings. So unfortunately, because we don't have enough foster placements, we are getting kids that are being placed there purely because we don't have anywhere else to put them, which isn't ideal. But generally we're the ones that have the worst behaviours, and even if there's one that maybe didn't need to be there, the rest would. And then by being around that, they all kind of bounce off each other and stuff happens. So my role there is not necessarily specifically for the kids. No, Dot, stay in. I'm about to go, so I'm not letting her out. It's like I do a little bit with the kids, but it's also heavily focused on offering direction to the staff and helping the staff. So there's a bit of organisational psychology. So it's a cool blend, which is awesome. And also dealing with the impacts on the staff. So, if they have been in a bunch of criticals and serious events, that has an impact on them. So how do I help them to... Also, the other thing about the houses is it's not just providing for their basic needs. The whole point is it's supposed to be therapeutic. So you're really trying to have the staff work in a way and have the house set up in a way that can address some of the traumas and behaviours that are going on. So that includes like what occurs, but how people respond to it and their attitudes. And they do sometimes do certain activities that are designed to do things like help the kids learn new coping strategies and develop emotion regulation or ways to cope with their emotions a bit better. So it's not quite therapy, but it's the way we work is supposed to build on the same kind of concepts that will then hopefully help them to engage in more formal therapies and resolve stuff. So it's pretty cool. What else has happened? I had a girlfriend that would you could call it long-term-ish, but I wouldn't quite put it in that category. For the gays, it is long-term, but not for yourself, with you and Amalia and stuff like that. It's Amalia, right? Helena and Amalia's your daughter with Hector? Okay, you need to remind me of this. I'm getting suddenly really confused. No, Helena's your daughter. It is Amalia. Please correct me. I can't believe I'm mixing this up. Hector, isn't it? As well, it's not Hector, it's Hector. Anyway, please help me with the pronunciation and the names. But yeah, going back onto the point, I had this girlfriend all together, and we actually moved into this house together. This is owned by her cousins, actually. But there was a whole bunch of, her mental health started deteriorating. It was something that she already had, but she was doing pretty well, and that started deteriorating. And I was dealing with my mum and uni and just my own life and stress, because oh God, masters is intense. Psychology masters is fucking intense. And that deteriorated, and then she's basically relapsed mental health wise, and the way she wanted to handle that was to end the relationship and go partying, self-destruct, all of that. So we're still in contact. I still have stuff to do with her family. I've seen her obviously and stuff like that. Not initially, initially I needed a bit of a break. But yeah, that was quite a big thing for me. I know, Dot. Interestingly, they're Portuguese. But they're not mainland Portuguese. They are from Madeira. So that's off the coast of of Africa. But yeah, so they're Portuguese. Kind of cool. But because they were born here, they don't speak as much. So she speaks a bit more, but her younger siblings don't speak any Portuguese. And obviously Brazilian Portuguese is a bit different. So so we have some Brazilian friends, or I have some Brazilian friends, and they would try and talk, and there were bits that they could communicate across and bits they couldn't. It'd probably be a bit easier if she was more fluent with her Portuguese. But yeah, so hence I didn't ask her to help me with the song, because I was like, yeah, she's not going to know that. And she's not going to know the singer. She won't recognise any of that. But, yeah, so that happened. And a little bit earlier, one of my best friends, her name's Gabby, she actually went through some family stuff. So her sister's got my best friend, one of my best friends. Her sister has schizophrenia, and we've always known that. And there's a bit of family history of mental health. Anyway, there was a bit of stress going on in her life. Sorry, it's my coffee machine turning off. It's automated. Stress in her life, and she ended up going into psychosis. And that was a massive thing. I ended up getting involved, obviously the family. So she got married. That was the other thing. So she married a Brazilian man. So we were all hanging out with the Brazilians as well. And yeah, she went to psychosis. I ended up helping. It was a really big issue. Although they would say she's not in the peak of it, and she's pretending to be fine, I would say she's got schizophrenia because it's ongoing. She just now knows that she's not in as heightened state, but she knows that if she acts a certain way or says certain things, she'll get put back into the hospital, or she fears that anyway. So that's been a bit hard because I lost her. Like, we're still friends. We actually went out to a comedy show, and she's been building up to being able to do these things, but she's not the same as she used to be. And she knows that, and something we talk about. But yeah, that has been a bit tough as well, to kind of feel like I was losing that friend, in that old sense of how we were. And obviously that also then puts in risks for her, like suicide and stuff, because her new reality is bloody scary. So she's quite suicidal, and although she's not really acting on it, she's coping by she's just unhappy and scared. So she's doing things what she can, but building herself up in the way she can, but it's not the same. So that was quite sad. But on a good note, we moved my mum down, and I've maintained contact with my family, which is kind of interesting. There's interesting things going on there, but it's nice to have a little bit of extended. Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't even say this. So just before COVID, did I tell you? I went over to America. Okay, tell me if I told you, but I went over to America and found my dad and my extended family, and I've stayed in contact with both of them. So yeah, I mean, that relationship's a bit interesting, more the relationship with the dad, but yeah, oh my God, I actually still have contact with him. It's not like a normal father-daughter relationship. It's still very awkward and a bit off. Like, he doesn't call me, I call him. He'll return the call sometimes, but not, yeah. He will never reply to an email. He doesn't want any evidence, and the thing is, he's a lawyer. So this is overachiever. He is a doctor who then became a marine biologist and did crazy, amazing dives, and professor and stuff like that. He then went and became a lawyer. Yep, his wife is the head of the US's Arctic exploration. So she goes around the world, and she's been doing Antarctica? The south one. Antarctica. It's Antarctica, right? Yeah, the Antarctic Exploration Unit. So they've been around the world. Because of he did biology and stuff like that, he's connected to all these amazing botanists, and yeah, it's just bloody amazing. Overachiever award. Mm-hmm. But I think, so when he left, I mean, other than being a dick move to do and trying to counter all the legal stuff, if I won the same court case, I would have dual citizenship in America, and he would have to backdate all of his pay. So I would get a lot of money, a shit ton, because he left the country and didn't pay child maintenance. Bad. And technically in America, he could go to jail for that. Obviously, that's not something that I would push for, and I haven't, but I know he knows that. So I think that's partly why they all make sure there's no evidence. You know, there's phone calls, but that's about it. You know, no evidence. But anyway, point being, I'm actually in contact with him, which is the only thing I really wanted. So yeah. Anyway, I better go. I've got to pick up my friend. But yeah, will be good to hear your voice and hear what's been going on. And I will talk to you soon.